Hello Visibility Vibers! It's Friday again already. How did this week roll around so quickly and come around so soon? So I know that loads of you have joined and are new. So if this is the first time you've seen me, my name's Jenny Kovacs. I'm affectionately known as the Queen of Being Seen because I help you to stand out, you to be visible so that you're seen, you're heard, you're noticed and you're remembered. So I'm live in London, it's Friday morning and it's a little bit drab and dreary outside, so expect some shakiness with the Wi-Fi, but let's see what happens. So down here I have some notes that I've written down. Over there I have my computer open, so I will glance like that periodically. I know there are people that are actually still joining this group as we speak. We're at 310 people, so thank you so much for joining, and I know that we have a few regulars that jump on board. So this I thought I would theme today because this week has really been about visibility. Since Shah did that wonderful Facebook Live in this group last week, you guys have been fired up, and that's what Shah's known for, giving you a kick in the pants and getting you kick started, making it happen. So continuing that theme, I wanted to continue the theme about three really great visibility raising ways so you can get out there before Christmas. So many of us have like landmarks and times and dates in the diary that we want to get out there, and we're all very different people. So today I'm going to be throwing a whole load of information at you, so I hope you've got a pen and paper to hand, or you're kind of typing this down and you're a quick typist. So if you are watching now and you're live, do say hello. Just say hello in whichever way. I always say hiya, but say hello. If you're feeling shy, you don't have to say hello, but I just want to welcome you to the call. So given that you are all very different people, you're all very individual, even if you do the same thing as something else, one of the things that I've come to know, love and learn is that different people do things in different ways. So if this is you, I'm going to cover 3 ways to get out there, like that you can start doing right now, so that you're out there, your work is out there, your services are out there, your book, your product, your music, whatever it is out there. And I'm going to cover within the 3 ways, I'm going to cover some, why to do it in the first place, how to do it, what it is, and if it's for you or not. But amongst all of that, I'm here for the next 25 minutes or so. So just, if you've got questions, even as I'm saying things, if they pop up, please post the questions below and I'll be happy to answer them. So Ian's saying, "Hey up Jenny, hey up Ian. How's that lovely daughter of yours? I hope she's doing well. Shame about the football on Sunday, but you know what? She's going to be an amazing sports person, I can tell." So Ali says, "Morning Jenny." Morning Ali. Can't wait till Monday, Ali. I can't wait to catch up with you and find out what's been going on in your world. So thanks for joining. And if you're watching this back on the replay, still get pen and paper handy, because there'll be lots of, I hope, light bulb moments and things that you can, take forward in terms of getting yourself out there. So why be visible in the first place? Why get out there? Well, the 3 ways that I'm going to cover, there are 3 ways. You can do it through writing, so it could be through books or blogs. You can do it through things like Facebook Live, with the nucleus being video. And you can do it by connecting with your people online, and I'll come back into exactly what they all are in just a moment. So let me just have a look there. Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure that someone wasn't knocking on the door, let me in. So let's break this down. So last week, when Shah was on, she was talking about, amongst many things, she was talking about her book. And what I loved about that was she described herself as a commercial author. So many of us in the personal development space have been inspired by books. We've got information in us that is unique and we can share. Some of us choose the self-publishing route and some of us choose a commercial route, which Shah has chosen. So she's been published by Wiley, Capstone and Penguin. And actually, she didn't have her books to hand to show you, but I do. So after a bit of rustling, let me grab them. Now, apologies, because for those of you that do Facebook Live, one thing that you may have worked out already or might not have worked out is that whenever you show something, it shows up in a mirror image. So these books won't make much sense. So this was Char's first book, Do Less, Get More. And it's a really great, you know, really easy to read. Pick it up, put it down and do stuff. And then she, this summer, came out with this one. This is Capstone Wiley as well. The Stop Talking, Start Doing action book. And again, loads of really great nuggets and things in there. I've read this and then I go back and pick out pieces when I need a bit of a boost. And I was very, very honoured to receive the revised and up-to-date edition of Do Less, Get More. How cool is that? I love the gold and the blue. So those are some of the books that she's written. So Wiley Capstone, Penguin have published those books. So they're all commercial. So what if you like to write blogs and you don't want to be an author? Why don't you, you know, what if you don't want to kind of go for the full-on kind of commercial publish? You may want to go down the self-publishing route. So if you want to go down the commercial route, then Char, I think there's still spaces, is running a workshop in London next Friday. So it's Friday the 23rd of September, central London. So it's quite easy to get to if you're coming from outside of London. She's running that workshop. There's still seats left. They're £49. And if you decide that you want to jump on that, let me know that you've booked and I will contact you with something very special just to kind of help and aid along that day. Now, if you decide that you want to self-publish, someone has really helped me because I always told myself that I wasn't an author. I told myself I wasn't an author. So someone that really helped me was a lady called Leslie Karen Hammond, who is in this group, and I'll tag her so that you can interact with her. What she is able to do is she's able to, like she's got this really great framework, so you never get writer's block. Once you know what book you want to write, and she helps you with that process as well, she goes through her, like she gives you like a framework. So as you go through the framework, it helps you to write. Now, when I first spoke to her, hi Frances. Oh, Ali says, I'm getting really good at reading back to front now. I'm sure it must be a metaphor. Yeah, I know, I think it's from training, Ali. We're used to kind of doing that, glancing and either memorising it or just reading back to front or mirror writing. So one of the things that you can do, and this is a good reason why to get out there if you want to write, and this is only one of 3 ways, so, and there's lots more ways than this. If you want to be like more of a speaker, you want to engage audiences, maybe be a keynote speaker, writing a book and writing a commercially published book is an excellent way to do that. You can go in and speak to people like banks and you know, corporations and things like that. And you've also got your book, which I like to think of as like a really great business card. A book is better than a business card because you're remembered. If you go to a networking event, you can take your book. Depending on the networking or connection event, you might even sell your book while you're there. I've been to events where people have said, oh, I've written this book. I've gone, wonderful, that's great. They've whipped one out their bag. I've given them like 20 quid or whatever. And I've got the book there. So I'm saying hi to Frances again. Or, as Frances says in her videos, hello! All cheery and bright like that. I love Frances's videos. So that's why you might want to be a commercial author. You might not have figured out quite what you want to write about yet. And if you haven't, then somebody like Leslie Karen Hammond, she is a speaker in her own right too. But she will also, and she also helps people, like she pulls the book out of you. This is how powerful Leslie is. When I spoke to her, I just started writing a couple more blogs. I only wanted to write a blog and I was talking to her about that. Now, within 20 minutes, we realised I had 5 books inside me. I was quite amazed, shocked, stunned, whatever the word is. And then I was like, well, I've written a little bit and I've stopped and I've started. So I ended up working with her in, I think it was April this year. And one of the things I loved about her process was that every time I sat down to write, I never had a writer's block because I had this lovely template. It's like a framework and I was able to respond to that framework and put my own stuff in. So it's not like a template where you just like fill in the gaps. You go through her framework. It's like step by step, small chunks, and then before you know it, you've written a book. Frances is saying, what's a commercial book? A commercial book is a book that somebody writes and publishes through a known publishing house, as opposed to you know, writing a book and self-publishing it through one of the other outlets. So if you get published by like Penguin, Hay House, I'm trying to think, I've got loads of books down here. Penguin, Hay House, Capstone is another one. I'm trying to think of the other big publishing house, but I think you get my drift. So that's where you become like a J.K. Rowling. You become, you know, the lady that wrote the Harry Potter series. You become picked up by a big publishing house, an international publishing house, and your book gets distributed. Hope that answers the question. If it doesn't, just tap me up underneath it and I will make sure that I answer. So thanks for that question. So that's a reason why it's better than a business card. You're remembered. You then get asked to speak, as opposed to trying to hustle and get lots of speaking gigs. People invite you into their groups, into their network. You've got something of value that you can share. You've got something that you can give to people that don't necessarily have the time to spend with you. And trust me, you can write about anything. As I glanced down on my bookshelf, I happened to catch a book by a lady called Dr. Christiane Northrup, who was an OBGYN and a doctor. She's written a book. You know, Frances, I know that you're in the osteopathy space and you help people with pain. All those ideas, those conversations that you've come up with patients will be things that you could definitely put in a book and share. So, oh, Phyllis says hello. Hi, hello, Phyllis. She says, hi, Jenny and everyone. Peace, love, luck, health, and joyous. Do you know what? You've got such an energy to you, Phyllis. I love it when you come on and say hello, because you kind of get people really like, woohoo! So, hello right back at you. Lots of love to you. So, that's why you might want to write a book. Now, the second way that you want to get out there quickly, and it's important for me to tell you why. I know why, and I've seen the effects, not only for myself, but for my clients. But I want to let you know why it's important for you, and also what could make a difference. So the second way is video. So why video? Video is one of the best ways I know for a person to connect with their audience. I mean, I do a couple of Facebook Lives in here, like twice a week. I've got a YouTube channel. I'm on Instagram and Twitter, and sometimes I do a very short 60-second video. Do you know how heartwarming it is to receive a private message from someone that you don't know, you've never met before, that says, I've watched your video, I did what you said in your video, and it has changed my life, or it's made me think differently, it's improved my relationship with my son, you know, it's improved my confidence, my body image, it's helped me with pain, it's helped me to make changes in the world, you know, it's just helped me to laugh, you've entertained me. Doesn't matter what the thing is, but that feeling when somebody sends you a message like that is just like, I cried on last week's live stream. I won't cry this week, but it does make me cry when I read these messages. They're so heartwarming. That's a really great way, using video, to connect with your audience, with the people that you haven't met yet. And then after you've done that for a while, you start to feel like you know them. So in May, when I started the first round of the 12-day video game, within like days, everyone posted a little video up, and within like 2 or 3 days, in fact by day 2, one of the ladies had something happen really close to where she lived, and she said, like, I just thought I'd come and share it with you. But from that point onwards, we all felt like we knew each other. We laughed, we gave feedback, we had conversations, we asked questions. That's really, for many of you, what you want to be doing, whether you're an author or whether you're a consultant. Building that community of people that know you, they like you, they love you, they trust you, and they want to be able to tell more people about you is a really excellent way of raising your visibility. And video is no longer just about video in a studio. I mean, look at me. I'm actually sat in my bedroom, you know, recording this with the best Wi-Fi connection I can get. Video is no longer about being in a Hollywood-style studio with lighting, cameras, makeup and hair. It's about real people, real lives, talking about real things in the moment, on the street, in their house, in their office, in their bedroom, you know, on the go, you know, behind the school gates. And this is now one of the quickest ways that I know for people to get stuff out there. And if you don't want to do video, you can do things like this, Facebook Live. You can speak to your audience or to people that haven't met you yet. You can put something out on your Facebook page, or you can do like a 60-second video on Twitter or Instagram. Now, I know that that sounds a bit mind-boggling, and I'm not saying do all of them. I'm saying do something. Rather than nothing, do something. So it's a really great way to share information, to connect with people, and to sell yourself and your products and services. Because for many of us that are in business, we do want people eventually to either come and work with us or buy our book or whatever the thing is that we've got. So never thought of this kind of networking way. Oh, France Lees, we fell in love with you from like day one because of your cheery hello, your love of cakes, the way you described some of the brilliant flavours and things that you liked. We all fell in love with you and have not put you down since. We've not left you alone since because we had that connection on camera. It's a really fantastic way of networking. And to that point, France Lees, I have met many people over the years online first. Sometimes it's taken 2, nearly 3 years for me to meet them in the flesh and say hello, So never ever discount that way of networking, especially for those of you with busy lives, maybe health, family or anything else like that. You can't believe I remembered that. Of course I did. Francis, you and me got a cake connection going on. We like cake. Don't tell the others, but we like cake. Don't tell Judy. Oh my gosh, she'll be wanting in on the cake party as well. So that's a really good reason why. So the other good reason why, and the third thing I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk about right here on Facebook, how you can connect, how you can really connect and actually grow your list through Facebook. Now, if you're going to spend time on Facebook and you like being part of Facebook groups, you've got a business page, why not help that work for your visibility too? So one of the ways in which I found Facebook helped to grow my visibility, and I'm going to give you some tips in a moment, the actual hows to do these and the benefits that will come from it. So another thing about Facebook and being able to connect with people, again, now we've got Facebook Live, it could be through your posts and what you share. But one thing that I discovered was it was a really great way to build a list. And this was list building with people's permission. Now, I'm not a fan of those people that just add you to groups or people that just say, oh, I've got a question to ask you, can you help me? And then they message you and try and hard sell you on some sort of call or something. It's not my style, it's not my vibe, and I don't think it should be yours either, because you don't need to do it in that way. You really don't need to do it in that way. So one of the things that I am an advocate of, and if you look in the events tab right here in this group, I talk about Facebook challenges. The very first time I did a Facebook challenge back in back end of 2012, 2013, I added 80 people to my list. Now I know the big gurus out there will say, oh, 80,000 and stuff. What could you do? Like, think about this just for a second. What could you do? What could you share? How could you connect if you had 80 people on your list that you could now tell them about the work that you do? You could inspire or motivate them. What could you do with that? What if out of those 80 people, maybe just 1 or 2 of them were exactly the sorts of people that you help, you serve, you boost, you do something with? Because certainly for me, while people focus on the number of numbers, if I know that when I share a message that just one person will get something out of it that will fundamentally help them change the course of their life, I'm in. Yes, it would be lovely to have thousands and millions of people following me, but just one person's enough for me. So really breathe that in. While we breathe that in, I'm just going to take a sip of my tea, which today is raspberry and echinacea. So you might be book writing, blogging, you might be doing video, you might be looking at visibility on Facebook. So how do you do it? So the first thing, right, if you're going for a book, here's my words. I'm not going to even sugarcoat this or mess about with this. If you are thinking of improving your blogs or writing books, do it properly. Learn how to do it properly. I've been in business for 6 years and I actually contributed to a book in 2011. It was one of those where we all had a chapter, we wrote a chapter each and it got, contributed and published. And I didn't take any advice. I just put together what I thought it would be. And I read it back and it read okay, but it wasn't like, I thought about where I was at that time. I didn't think about my future. Like if you've got a vision board or a plan or something like that, you're more than likely looking at where you want to go. When you write a book, you want to imagine that you're already in the place that you want to go and you're going on to the next leap. You want to think about it in that way. You want to think about it in your blogs. And that could be the difference between whether you get commercially published, like Charles Wasmond is, or I should say Charles Wasmond at MBE, or whether you go for a self-publishing route. I would say neither one is better than the other, just different. But it needs a little bit of thought as to where you want to go with it. Okay, so if you are looking at a commercially published book by a big publishing house, then do have a look on Charles Wasmond's page. I think there are still spaces left for next Friday. Her events get sold out and they're normally like lots of people in the room. In fact, at one of her last events, Ian and I and Julia and a couple of others and Sarah, we all were at the same event. So we all went and had lunch. So it's a really good way to connect and network. And the people that you meet in the room, 1 month, 1 year, 3 years down the line, could either become a very close friend, a recommendation, like a source of recommendation, a client, somebody that you mastermind with or network with. And although it's a little bit early in the morning for the Americans in the group, people like Leslie Karen Hammond, Esther, Janet, all people that I met over in the States, all people that I connected with on a really deep level, and how they have supported me since we met is just beyond belief. You know, when Esther came over to London last year, we went out for dinner. We had dinner. We had such a giggle. Janet has been instrumental all the way through ever since I met her. And Janet's from London, yet we met over in California. Can you believe that? And for the first few times, every time we met in the flesh was only ever in America. And then she came to my event in 2014. So those are some examples of like the connections that you can make. So if you're looking at writing a book, learn how to do it properly. Here's 3 tips. Learn how to do it properly. But the first tip is look at books you love. And by that, I don't only mean in the content or the subject. Maybe it's the layout, the style of book that you want to write. So Danitza, who's also in this group and very busy with her pop-up in London, wrote a book, for those of you who are more spiritually led, called The Spiritual Teacher's Handbook. And when she gave me this book, and she signed it, I liked the layout of it. That really made something go off in my head that, do you know what, I could be an author because I love the layout. So look at the layout of the book. Think about, do you want it to be an interactive book? Do you want it to be like a workbook? Do you want it to be something that's more like research based? Do you want it to be informative? Do you want it to contain exercises? Do you want it to be about your life experiences? Do you want it to be fictional? Do you want it to be like a metaphorical book where you write a story about something which might be about your life or someone else's? So look at books you love and decide, like make the decision of the kind of book you want to write. And if you're not sure, then, and you don't know how to lay it out or anything else like that, definitely contact Leslie. I know Leslie has Facebook challenges periodically herself on books. Contact her and look to work with somebody so that you can get this down. The thing I like about working with people to do stuff like that is once you've done it the first time, then you can go back and revisit it and do your second book, your third book the next time using their framework. And it gets stuff done quicker. In fact, with Leslie, I was duped into thinking that I could do it in 10 weeks. And actually, by like week 2.5, I had 12 chapters. I never thought I could write a book like that. It might be that you do something like that first and then think about, a year or so later, then go into a commercial publisher. So that could be your way. So decide on how to lay it out. and use the book. So number 1, look at books you love. Number 2, decide on how to lay it out. I'm just checking my notes so I don't forget. And, you know, number 3, go to someone who knows. Asking your friends who have never written a book before, or your family that love you and care for you and worry about what you're going to write, isn't the best way of moving forward. You know, asking in Facebook groups of people generically who don't have that experience isn't the best way. Personal recommendation and going to people who know, like Shah, if you're going to go for a Penguin published book, go to a workshop. You know, her workshop was only £29, and that deadline is now gone, but it's £49. Imagine that you have at least 49 speaking gigs after you've published your book. That is really a return on investment. And if you want to be given the VIP treatment, then go for the £99 treatment. Sit at the front, get the signed book, and listen to what Shah has to say and implement. Okay, don't fill up your notebook and take it home and stash it under another bookshelf in a pile of dust. Implement. So, you know, look at books you love, tip number 1. Decide on how to lay it out and go to, and speak to somebody like Leslie. And number 3, go to someone who knows, like Shah. Okay. And, you know, in a group like this, keep each other accountable. Let us know what book you're going to publish. So if you have, if you've got a book inside you, or you've already written a book, just put in the link below. Let us know your book and where we can get it from. Okay. I might put a separate post as well so that people can start to list their books and their blogs, because I think it's interesting to insight to read other people's blogs too. So, video visibility, how to raise that. If you've never done video before, so many of my clients have been really scared about doing video. On Monday the 29th, I am restarting what's possibly going to be the last round in this way of the 12-day video game. Now, why is it not a video challenge? Because if I tell you it's a video challenge, you're going to think it's good, it's really hard, and actually it's a lot of fun. And, you know, for those of you that are even watching this, either live or on the replay, that have been through the 12-day video game, you will understand how much fun it is. My sole aim is to get you comfortable on video, confident on camera, and consistent in what you share. Because my belief is, and I've done it now like 3-4 times already this year, once you start to go through that process, what you start to realise are the possibilities of other subjects that you can talk about, other things that you can do. So here's how we stop ourselves. People try and do video and they'll say things like, oh, I'll give it a try. Now, if you give it a try, how fair is that to your audience? How fair is that to the people that haven't done it? So thank you, France Lee. She said, it is. I've done it twice and I've loved it all the way. And France Lee, have you been back in the group? You're all coming back. We're all having a reunion. So if you'd like to, definitely play full out in there. So ways that I hear people stopping themselves from being more visible on video is they'll say, oh, I'll give it a try. That's just like opening a shop. Can you imagine? Everyone's walking down the high street and they see your shop front, it's all shiny. They watch you putting, you know, getting the refit and the shop fitted out. They see you putting the shelves in. They see all of the goods that you have to offer. And then you open the doors and there's this big anticipation. Everyone comes in and has a look. And 3 weeks later, when they come back for more, you're not there anymore. That's not consistency. So being consistent, and people think it takes a lot of time, and it actually doesn't. In fact, on the 12-day video game, you don't actually need to spend or dedicate more than about 5 to 10 minutes a day, you know, to be able to have this consistency. People saying, oh, I'll give it a try, like the shop front. Either, what is it Yoda says? There is no, oh, is that can't or can? There is no try, or something like that. So either do it or try it. If you do it, you're doing it, you're serving your audience in a really big way. If you're trying it, you're just dipping your toe in the water and indulging yourself, indulging your fears and stopping yourself from getting out there. And, you know, visibility isn't about that. So here's how you do it. You get a plan. You get a plan together, even if it's written down on the back of an envelope or on a note in your phone or on a computer somewhere, but make some sort of plan so that you can be consistent and not have to run out. Okay. Make sure that you like video. Now, how can you make sure? On the 29th, this, you know, the video challenge starts again. It's £29 and you get something into your inbox every single day that helps you. If you don't want to come into the Facebook group first thing in the morning and distract yourself, for example, you'll get the instruction by email. You'll also get it in the group and you'll be invited to post a video. I'll tell you what to post it on, so you don't have any of that, I don't know what to say. And you'll be surprised, especially for those of you who are business owners. There are only 3 days in the video challenge where I get you to talk about business. The rest of them I get you to talk about something else. But as a learning and development manager and a training manager of over 20 years, I have sneaky backdoor ways of building your confidence which feel fun. So, you know, if this is something that appeals to you, have a look at the event that goes up in the group today. So make sure that you're consistent. Don't try it out. Get a plan together. Make sure you like it. People like Shah, for example. Shah has openly said that at first she wasn't sure about video, and then she got into it, and then she got into Facebook Lives and it all blew up. You know, France Lees is excellent on video, and the reason that she's excellent is because she's a real person. She's not this stage caricature, you know, in this kind of glass environment with like a ton of makeup on or anything. She's a real person. She's really funny. She's really engaging. And she just, like, she warmed our hearts from the moment she came in there. As did Ian. You know, Ian played full out on the first round. We loved seeing, like, the countryside where Ian lived. Ian helps people with their web services, yet he was able to create this really engaging platform for people to, you know, to get out there to find out about him, his products and services. So make sure that you like it. Make sure that it's your medium, and you know, even so, make sure that you actually need it, because for some of you it will absolutely skyrocket your visibility in ways that you haven't known over a very short space of time. You try putting out a couple of videos a week or even one a week and see how long it is before you're at a party and somebody approaches you and starts talking about your video, or somebody comes up to you and says, oh, I've been watching your videos on such and such, or somebody just sends a message to your inbox and says, I've been watching this video and I've noticed that you've got a video on this, or will you be doing videos on that? And, you know, I remember the first time I did a video, one very hot summer in my vest, I had my feather earrings in, hair scraped back, I was actually sat at my living room table, and 29 people viewed my video in 24 hours. That's not thousands, and 4 people bought from that one video. The one where I was like, how can I show my bare arms? It's not professional. So if you think that how you look, how your environment looks is important, it's baloney. The world has moved on. So decide whether you want to educate, inspire, or have a mixture. Decide whether you're a personal brand and how you want to do it. And if you'd like a really great way of creating content and getting out there on video, then join us on the next 12-day video game. We'd love to have you. So if you've got any questions, pop them below. The final thing I want to talk about is Facebook challenges. Now, this is a really interesting one. Facebook challenges seem to have been going on for years, you know, but it was only when I first did my first free Facebook challenge that I realised how needed they were, how much they changed people's lives, whether you're in, you know, a business space, a personal development space, health and wellness space, you know, online space. They make a significant difference to people. And it was only some time later when I charged for some of my challenges that I realised that it's also a really great piece to add to a business model as well. So you're able to help people and really play full out. So, you know, just as much as recently I did the Mindset Makeover. Next round starts on Monday. That was only £10, but everyone got a nice little gift in the post. So not only did they get a nice gift in the post, I was also able to donate some of that money to a charity which is Martha's Dancing Heart. I was able to donate that so that other people saw the benefits of that too. So why would you want to do a Facebook challenge? You might want to get out there in a splash. Remember me saying get out there before Christmas. There's no better way of doing that than running a Facebook challenge, attracting new people to the work that you do. Whether they join the challenge or not, they'll know that you're out there doing that work. And then when they do join the challenge, it can be really life-changing for them. Like I say, some of the most successful Facebook challenges have absolutely nothing to do with business, but everything to do with improving confidence, helping people's well-being, their state of mind, and various things like that. And then quite often people say to me, but you charge for it, do you? How much do I charge? How do I know whether I can charge for it? How do I know how much to charge? How do I get people to help? How do I lay out what I'm going to do and what they're going to take up? And that's why I created the Facebook challenge workshop, which I decided to do live as opposed to online. And the ladies that attended the last one will tell you we had massive paper, I think big paper, big plans. We had lots of colourful post-it notes. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm a fan of not only brightly coloured post-it notes, but different shaped post-it notes. And we basically started the day where we could work out what challenge specifically we wanted to do, how many people we wanted to do it with, whether we were going to charge for it or not, and if so, how much we were going to charge for it, and how we were going to take them through the process so that by the end of it, they would actually, let me rephrase that. So we took them through the process so that the people that attended the workshop had a Facebook challenge to do later on, and took them through the process of what they would take their people through so they could get lasting results, they could see a difference in their life. How do you choose between a 5-day challenge or a 30-day challenge, for example? So we covered all of that. And the space that we do it in is an amazing space. I get you going out there, you taking photos so that you've got really nice memes and really nice pictures and graphics for your Facebook challenge. And I also support you before and after with a call too. Really funnily enough, I had a conversation with somebody a couple of days ago who asked me what I was doing. They came to me for coaching but asked me what I was doing. And when I told them of all these things, they said, I want all of them. So they've actually been spaced out in a nice way. So if you're ready, and we're back. So if you're ready to catapult your visibility, you might want to start on Monday with looking at your mindset, making over areas of your mindset so that you're really ready to go to the next level, followed by going through the 12 days and increasing your confidence on camera and playing the 12-day video game, culminated in a Facebook challenge. Now, you don't have to do all 3. But if that's something that appeals to you, they're perfectly manageable because of how they're spaced out. And after that, if you still want my help and my coaching, because I want you to implement, I'll give you bite-sized sessions, like 15-minute calls on a weekly basis, where you'll be given an action, you go off and do it. There's no sort of having to procrastinate or putting it off. You go off and do the one thing that we discussed on that call. I have ways of helping you to keep accountable to yourself, and I'll keep you accountable too. And then by that time, you've not only started to really spread the word about what you do, it's almost like you've now got different spokes of your wheel, so people can come and see what you're doing from very different areas. And as a result of that, I actually only last week had a conversation with somebody on LinkedIn who I'm going to be doing some work for. Now, they're more of a corporate type of client, but they're a small business in themselves. So getting the word out there, getting people to know what you do, that's really what's the point of doing all of this. That's what's the point of going out there. If you decide that you want to kickstart your business, maybe it hasn't started yet, or you want to test the temperature of the water out there, rather than doing research in isolation, a Facebook challenge is a pretty good way to do it. And by doing that, people start to know what you're doing, and they can tell other people too. They can share with others. So I don't know if you've got any questions on anything I've said. So if you've got any questions on books, videos, or even blogs, or doing Facebook challenges and want to know any more, please type them in the box below. If not, I think I've gone a little bit over my 30 minutes, so I bid you good day. So, let me know what kind of things have this has sparked for you, what kind of things that you're looking to do. And also, people say, oh, well, after September and the way to Christmas, it gets really quiet. Not on my watch and not in my life. In fact, for a couple of years, September has been one of my busiest months from a financial and a client-based piece. October, November and December can be really busy. The very first Facebook challenge that I did was a 21-day, I think it was Visibility Desire, I called it. It was so busy, like 86 people I think signed up in the end, so over 80 people signed up. It was so busy that I had to put a cut-off date on it, and I had to run it again in the January, by which time I had inquiries coming out of my ears. I had people wanting to know how they could work with me, if I was running any workshops, if I could help them, if I could consult for them, to the point that in the first 7 days of January, for the first time ever in my business in 2014, I actually made, like, I had a 5-figure month. I made over £10,000. And I was shocked because I'd never done that before, didn't think I could do it in that way. So that's like the repercussions of really going out there and being visible. It's not so much about the money. When you have a business and you are creating an income which is consistent and you're helping to change people's lives, it's that makes a difference. When your kids want something and you're not having to say, I can't afford it this week, that makes a difference. When you get an email from someone telling you how much they feel that their life has been changed, that makes a difference. And when people come up to you, complete strangers, and say, oh, you must be Francelise, or you must be Ali, or you must be Ian, you must be Kelly, it's that makes a difference. So thank you so much for joining me this week, and have a watch of the replay if you haven't already. I'll pop some of the links of the things that I've spoken about. So Shah's event, I'll tag in Leslie, who's based in America, so it'll be her morning soon. And I'll also make sure that you've got links. Look in the event, I'm going like that, pointing at the computer. Look at the events tab for the links. And if you haven't already taken advantage of the free download that I put in, I think at the beginning of August, go up and download. You've got a way to get visible on Facebook, and also the Visibility Vibes, the 5 steps. So that's a free resource. That's something that you can have a look at and do right now to start getting out there. It's got really quick and easy tips, like literally in a minute you can go and change your profile picture and have Facebook notify everyone that you've changed your picture. That's another way to raise your visibility. Let people know that you're doing things. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the group. Put your celebrations in for Celebratory Friday, and bye for now. Lots of love. Bye.